Welcome back to New Gameplay Today. I'm Leo Vader. With me today is Kyle Hilliard.
Hello.
And Dan Tack.
Why, hello there.
Can you say the name of this game to me, Dan Tack?
SteamWorld Quest, Hand of Gilgamech.
Oh,
Nice.
you just turned from one character into two characters.
Yeah, you can do that. It's really cool.
Is that your whole party?
That's the part. Yeah, you can only use 3 characters at a time. These 2 are my favorites from the game.
And this is
They absolutely wreck face.
a role-playing video game?
This is a card-based, turn-based RPG.
Oh.
So we're going to fight a boss from one of the sections that I'm allowed to show. However, I am greatly overpowered for this fight. This is an endgame crew, and this is a early to mid-game boss.
Okay.
Okay.
So she's going to go down fast, but we can show you the systems. That's the important part.
Yeah. So you like this game generally, Dan?
Yeah, so the review is also on the site right now.
What'd you give it?
It came in at an 8.
Solid. Solid 8.
I like the combat. I like the card system. It wasn't super deep. I didn't love the fact that it's basically a straight line from A to B. Not a whole lot of exploration to do.
I remember you saying, because you're a big card game guy, just generally.
Huge.
And you were kind of like referring to this one as like, this would be good even if you're not a big like card game person, right?
So if you just like RPGs, this game is fine for you. You don't have to be like, oh, it's a card-based game. I don't want any of that.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, this is a traditional turn-based role-playing game with some really charming characters. Story didn't do a whole lot for me, but the characters were fun, and they have cool moves that go along with that.
Okay. And are you like using cards or you're like building a deck?
You build a deck and use cards. Those are where all your moves come from, but it's very simplified. Like you can only have 8 cards in each person's deck, 3 characters active at a time, and the system gets a little bit more complex because you'll be comboing and doing chains, which we'll show here in a second when we fight the headmistress. This is actually not a great boss fight to show because she goes immune. But I guess that's cool, actually. Some people can see that.
Well,
but you'll
we
have
just want to see what it looks like, man.
to break through her immunity. But
I'm
again,
sure it's going to be great.
she's going to get slaughtered because this crew is a little bit more heavy duty.
All right, brag.
But
She's talking a big game right now.
I just want to show how the combat works. We passed a vendor earlier. That's where you go to upgrade your cards, to buy new cards, and then you slot them into your decks to do stuff.
We're playing on Nintendo Switch?
This is on the Nintendo Switch. It's supposed to come to other platforms at some time. I don't know when. I don't know what the exclusivity window is.
Gotcha.
All right, so you see those cogs at the top? To do better moves, we need those cogs.
Gotcha.
So basic moves give you cogs, and the big moves take cogs. So this deck that I'm running right now is all about... Actually, it's really well balanced. I have the green guy there. What he's going to do is like get regeneration and interrupt the opponent. So he's like a big buffy cleric kind of guy. So he's going to roll regenerations on the team. This is my big damage, the one down here.
Virulence.
It's a combination of physical damage, arcane damage, and poison.
Wow.
And my favorite,
like a lot.
my favorite character in the game. Yeah, it's complicated. This is an end game lineup.
And you
okay?
just traded it out?
Yeah, you can trade out 2 cards a turn. So I was trying to get to a chain, but I didn't get one. So I've got 3 basic moves that are going to give me some cogs. I'm just going to store cogs this turn. Basically, this is a dumb turn. After you hit her once per turn, she goes immune, but I think my characters have like... Basically, like I said, we're going to rip through her.
Gotcha.
This is an interesting card. It doesn't actually do any damage. It gives me 2 pips of cogs. So we're going to get the regeneration rolling. And since we used 3 green cards, the frog's going to do his ultimate attack, or chain attack, which is tied to my weapon. So as you change your weapon, you can change what you do on a chain. So this one down here, we're gonna get ready for a really big hit with my gruesome twosome. This is my favorite character in the game.
Your gruesome
Just
twosome.
all about stacking poison, stacking blinds, doing insane damage. So
It's interesting seeing a card game like this with thousands of hit points as opposed to 30 or whatever.
Yeah.
Does that feel like you can keep track of it?
Yeah, it's pretty easy to keep track of, honestly. Like I said, this is not a this is a great, like, if you've been intimidated by stuff like Slay the Spire or other deck-based RPGs of the roguelike variety, this is more of a traditional game. And trust me, you can figure it out, no problem, even if you hate cards. Even if you hate cards, but you like traditional RPGs, this one's still for you.
Okay.
Does it feel like there's almost a loot element with how you're trying to get your damage numbers up?
So you've got traditional leveling up, which just increases your numbers, so your guys' attacks and stuff. Forget upgrading the cards, you're still going to get more damage and stuff as you level. So it's got that traditional RPG element to it.
Mm-hmm.
I like the little touch of like the punch card sort of idea at the bottom.
Yeah, isn't that cute?
That's cool.
It's all like steampunky. Like I said, there's a lot of charm, I think, in the graphics and the characters.
Yeah, it looks
story
sharp.
didn't grab me, and the dungeons were really like point A to B. even with the puzzles. So they didn't, but again, it carried itself. The reviews on the site, so you can get a little bit more detail on that.
Yeah.
What kind of puzzles are you talking about?
Oh, they're more like find a rune to solve how to open this door, find like all 4 runes in the level, and then click them in the right order. Nothing very serious, no heavy lifting.
Mm-hmm.
I'd call them pretty basic puzzles.
That poor bird is leaking blood or
the bird isn't
oil
gonna make it.
or something.
But we are substantially over-leveled for this segment, which we are allowed to show. Can only show early and mid-game stuff.
Yeah.
What's the incentive for going back and playing older levels?
That's a great question, Leo. So let's say you do get, let's say you do have to get a little bigger. Let's say you're facing a challenge you're not ready for. You can go back and farm and maybe find some cards you missed, crafting materials to make new cards.
Did you have to do that much?
I did not. I found that once I got that character at the bottom, the twins, once I got that character, the game got a lot easier for me because I just stack poison blind and just roll them. Poisoning enemies in this game is extremely effective, and bleeding them as well. So I use the guy in the middle, the masked fox samurai.
Of course.
He puts the bleed on. The twins put the poison on, and then I just watch anything. No, it doesn't matter how big they are; they're just gonna drain and die.
Then you just stay alive.
And there are other strategies you can employ too. The game has enough options to give you about 2 or 3 basic archetype or templates for each character. So you're not completely limited to that skill set. There's not a bunch, but multiple ways to play each character.
And are you leveling up the characters, or it's all about the cards?
No, you are absolutely leveling the characters too, so that's another reason to go back and get XP if you're stuck.
Yeah.
And that XP and those levels will directly increase the effectiveness of your cards.
I'm sorry if you've already mentioned this. Can you have different people in your party, or is it a linear?
You can only have 3 in your party at any given time.
But you could switch them out.
Yes, and you're gonna and you may want to as you do that. So let's just jump back to. We're gonna actually jump back to the same.
Oh.
It's got a real Vanillaware kind of look to it. The way the characters move and stuff.
I noticed this shop at the beginning, so I want to show that with the decks because we just showed combat a little bit. It wasn't the best, but because of the fact that we're super leveled, but I can't show late game fights.
Right.
So here's the systems. You get to craft your cards, so you can do big upgrades to your stuff.
Are you just finding materials out in the world?
Yeah, so you can grind fights not only for experience but for materials, and upgrade your cards to make them more effective. Again, leveling up makes them more effective as well. You can upgrade them, so you can craft them, you can upgrade them, you can do whatever you want for them. Once you find a strategy that works for you, I think you kind of stick with it. Like I said, I'm going with I've got different options in this one. They've got all kinds of cool cards, like they can steal.
That's a Pokemon card at the bottom left. That's just Zubat.
They can steal, they can drain, they can do all kinds of stuff. But I went with just massive poison and blinding the enemy. And again, you can take this guy, the chunky cleric kind of guy, in a bunch of different ways. Healing, buffing, but his regeneration I found extremely useful and very powerful for the entire duration of the game. Once you get this, you can basically just throw the regen on and throw the dots in the enemy and watch him burn. And that was my strategy, basically. But you can play him in a bunch of different ways. Like, he can do ice damage. You can combo him with the mage character to sort of stack ice debuffs on the opponent and then blast him with big spells. There's all kinds. There's multiple strategies you can employ.
Cool.
And you can also buy weapons. And as you can see, it changes the ultimate ability if you do a chain.
So you're equipping a weapon to a character and then using the cards to execute their attacks.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. The weapon determines, it gives you some stats, as you can see, like strength and magic stats. So you can serious bonuses to that. Makes them way more effective. But it also, the important part is it gives them those moves, as you see there, like the quivering palm, which is a move that if you smack them with it, it'll interrupt them and deny them playing a card, which is extremely powerful.
Yeah. Can you dismantle cards and craft new cards with those materials?
You can craft new... I don't think you can dismantle cards once you've created them. But you can... Materials are not in short supply, and you can buy materials straight up if you just want to...
If you're short or
If you're like, hey, I really need to buy this one card. I really need to upgrade something. And you can just buy the mat straight up. Just buy a stack of them. And so it's not a problem. Yeah.
Nice.
Basically, you can get what you want.
Cool.
Play your way.
Yeah,
As Jeff Cork would say if he was here.
I like this sort of idea of the whole SteamWorld series, how they're just kind of poking around at all these different genres, but maintaining that steampunk kind of robot look.
Yeah, the steampunk stuff is fun, and you get lots of steampunky cards, and it's... Yeah, I had a good time with this game. Again, the reviews on the site.
And you said there are fun little shout-outs to the SteamWorld universe that no one in this room will appreciate?
Yeah.
There are, but I'm not familiar with the series outside of this game.
Yeah,
Right.
I've only played a little bit of
This one is
original dig.
This one I heard there were cards in it, so I instantly said, "Whoa, cards! I
Oh,
love
thanks
cards."
for you.
I'm listening.
Cool. Well, that's SteamWorld Quest.
SteamWorld Quest: Hand of Gilgamech.
Oh,
Can't
Don't forget that, yeah.
Yeah, that's important. That subtitle.
and it's out this Thursday.
That it is.
That's exciting. That's the 25th of April.
Yeah. So if you see an enemy like floating around the map and you hit him with this first, you get like you'll do some damage to them before the battle begins. That's what it's for.
Oh, interesting.
Besides just breaking boxes and stuff for extra gold.
Cool. Well, thanks, guys.
Yeah. Thank you, Leo.
Yeah. Thanks, Leo.
My pleasure. Bye.
Ha ha ha. What a fantastic episode of New Gameplay today. Come back every week for fun, informational looks at new releases and early previews of unreleased games. Ha ha ha. Stay subscribed and I guarantee there will be an episode about Cyberpunk 2077 at some point down the line.